longer just about servers and storage. In 2026, it's powering websites, apps, banking systems, data platforms, cybersecurity systems, and now AI applications. IDC reported that global public cloud spending is expected to cross $1 trillion in 2026, while Gartner reported that worldwide AI spending is expected to reach $2.52 trillion in 2026. So, the AWS Certification Roadmap 2026 is not just a list of exams, but it is a step-by-step path that helps beginners understand cloud basics, choose the right AWS certification, build real projects, and grow towards roles like cloud engineer, solution architect, developer, data engineer, security professionals, or AI-focused cloud learner. So this topic is important because many beginners get confused by too many options and choose a certification only because it's popular. But the smarter way is to start with the right foundation, understand how AWS systems work, pick a role-based path, and then move towards an advanced certification only after enough hands-on practice. So that is exactly what this roadmap will help you do. So now that we know why this roadmap matters, let's quickly look at what we will cover in this video. AWS certification levels. We will understand foundational, associate, professional, and specialty levels in simple terms. Best starting certification. We will see whether Cloud Practitioner, AI Practitioner, or Solution Architect Associate is right for you. Role-based paths. Then we will map AWS certifications for developers, cloud engineers, data learners, security learners, and AI learners. Preparation time. We will then discuss realistic timelines for beginners, associate, and professional level certifications. Hands-on projects. Then we will cover practical projects that can make your AWS learning stronger. Common mistakes. Then we will look at what beginners should avoid while choosing and preparing for AWS certifications. Finally, we'll close a clear 2026 AWS certification path based on your career goal. Now, before we wrap up, here's a quick quiz question for you. Which AWS certification is usually the best starting point for a complete beginner? Is it A, Cloud Practitioner, B, DevOps Engineer Professional, C, Security Specialty, or is it D, Solutions Architect Professional? Let us know your answers in the comments below. Hello everyone and welcome back to Simplilearn. Before choosing any certification, let us understand why AWS certifications still matter. AWS is one of the biggest cloud platforms in the world and companies use it to run websites, mobile apps, banking systems, e-commerce platforms, data pipelines, security systems, and now even AI applications. AWS describes itself as a platform that offers reliable, scalable, and cost-effective cloud computing services where users can only pay for what they use. So this is why cloud skills are useful across many roles. You don't have to be only a cloud engineer. Developers, data analysts, DevOps engineers, cybersecurity professionals, AI engineers, solution architects, and even project managers can benefit from understanding AWS. So the reason is simple. Almost every digital product today needs storage, servers, databases, security monitoring, and deployment. So AWS gives companies all of the services in one place. The important reason is the growth of AI and cloud together. Gartner reported that worldwide AI spending is forecasted to reach $2.59 trillion in 2026 with a 47% year-over-year increase. So IDC also reported that global public cloud spending is expected to cross $1 trillion in 2026. And this is driven by platform services and AI adoption. So that means cloud is not only slowing down. In fact, AI is making cloud more important because AI tools need a strong cloud infrastructure to store data, process information, run applications, and scale for millions of users. And this is why AWS certifications are becoming more role-based and more practical in 2026. So now let's understand the AWS certification levels in a very simple way. So think of AWS certifications like a staircase. You don't have to jump to the top step directly. You should climb based on your background, your career, and your comfort level. So the first level is the foundational level. So this is for beginners who want to understand the basics of cloud and AWS. AWS officially says that foundational level certifications are designed for people who want to build and validate an overall understanding of AWS cloud. So the second level is the associate level. So this is where AWS starts to become more practical. So these certifications are for people who want to work in technical roles like cloud engineer, developer, data engineer, machine learning engineer, or solutions architect roles. So AWS describes associate certifications as role-based certifications for people who want to perform specific technical roles. The third level is a professional level. So this is for experienced learners. These certifications are not ideal as your first AWS exam because they expect deeper knowledge, practical expertise, and the ability to make decisions in complicated situations. AWS says that professional certifications validate advanced technical skills for people performing complex technical tasks. The fourth level here is specialty level. So these are focused on deep skills in one area such as security or advanced networking. Specialty certifications are useful when you already know the basics and want to go deeper into a specific career track. So as of the current AWS certification structure, the major certifications include AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner, AWS Certified AI Practitioner, AWS Certified Solutions Architect, and AWS Certified Developer Associate. The remaining certifications are as listed over here. If you want a better understanding of it, you can pause the screen and take a look. So these have been distributed in the 4 levels here. As you can see, there's foundational, associate, professional, and specialty. So now this is where many beginners get confused. They see so many options and immediately ask, which one should I even take first? Well, the answer depends on your background. If you're completely new to cloud, start with a cloud practitioner or AI practitioner. If you already have some IT knowledge, you can directly start with the Solutions Architect Associate. If you're a developer, Developer Associate may be more relevant. If you're interested in AI and machine learning, AWS now has a clearer path through AI Practitioner, Machine Learning Engineer Associate, Generative AI Developer Professional, and more. So if you're completely new to cloud computing, your first goal should be to understand what cloud is, why companies use it, and how basic AWS services work together. For complete beginners, the best starting point is usually the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. Well, this certification helps you understand cloud basics, AWS services, pricing, security, and support. AWS lists Cloud Practitioner under foundational certifications, which are meant for learners building an overall understanding of the AWS cloud. So you can think of Cloud Practitioner as the map before the journey. It will not make you job ready, but it will help you understand the language of cloud, where you will learn terms like compute, storage, database, networking, security, availability, regions, and billing. So these terms may sound confusing in the beginning, but once you understand them, AWS becomes much easier. After Cloud Practitioner, your next step should be AWS Certified Solutions Architect. So this is one of the most popular AWS certifications because it teaches you how to design cloud solutions, and AWS says that this exam validates the ability to design solutions based on the AWS well-architected framework. For a beginner, this is the certification that starts with connecting theory with real-world thinking. So you are no longer learning what S3, EC2, RDS, IAM, or VPC means. You are learning how to use them together. For example, how do you host a website? How do you store files? Or how do you protect user data? Or how do you make sure an application doesn't go down easily? How do you reduce cloud costs? So these are the kind of questions that Solutions Architect Associate prepare for. So for complete beginners, the roadmap is simple. Start with Cloud Practitioner, then move into Solution Architect Associate, and then build at least 2 or 3 practical projects. Now let's say you're a developer or want to become one. Maybe you already know Java, Python, JavaScript, or backend development. Well, in that case, you should look at AWS from a developer's point of view. Your best path could be Cloud Practitioner, then Developer Associate, and then DevOps Engineer Professional later. So if you already understand the basics of cloud, you can skip Cloud Practitioner and directly start with Developer Associate. The developer path is about building and deploying applications on AWS. So you should learn services like Lambda, API Gateway, DynamoDB, S3, IAM, CloudWatch, and CI/CD tools. So the goal is not just to pass an exam. The goal here is to become comfortable with creating applications that can run on the cloud. So for example, instead of only learning what AWS Lambda is, you should understand where it is used, and Lambda lets you run code without managing servers. So if you want to create a small backend function that runs when a user uploads a file or submits a form, Lambda can help. If you want to expose that function as an API, API Gateway can help. If you want to store data, DynamoDB or RDS can help you. So if you want to store files, S3 can help. So this is how developers should think about AWS. After Developers Associate, if you want to go deeper into automation, deployments, monitoring, and infrastructure management, you can later prepare for the AWS Certified DevOps Engineer Professional. So AWS says that the professional level certifications validate skills in provisioning, operating, and managing distributed application systems on AWS. But remember, don't jump to the professional certificate too early. First, build comfort with applications, services, deployment, and debugging. If your goal is to become a cloud engineer, cloud administrator, or cloud operations engineer, the roadmap should focus on managing systems properly. You need to understand how cloud applications are deployed, monitored, secured, backed up, scaled, and fixed when something goes wrong. So for this path, a good roadmap is Cloud Practitioner, then Solutions Architect Associate, and then Cloud Ops Engineer Associate. and later DevOps Engineer Professional. So AWS lists AWS DevOps Engineer Associate as an associate level certification that validates technical skills in deployment, management, and operations on AWS. So this is intended for people who perform a systems administrator role and need to deploy, manage, and operate workloads on AWS. So this path is very practical because real companies don't just need someone who can create cloud resources. They need people who can keep systems running. So for example, if a server crashes, who investigates the issue? If traffic suddenly increases, who makes sure that the system can handle it? If cloud cost suddenly increases, who finds the reason? So these are the kind of problems that cloud ops and DevOps professionals solve. So if you want a strong cloud engineering career, do not only study services, learn Linux basics, networking basics, IAM permissions, monitoring, logs, backups, load balancing, and cost management. Certifications can guide you, but hands-on practice can make you more confident. Now let's talk about the part that has become extremely important in 2026, AI and machine learning on AWS. So this is where AWS has made major updates. AWS has AWS Certified AI Practitioner, which has a foundational level certification for people who want to understand AI, machine learning, and generative AI concepts and use cases. So this is a good starting point for beginners, business professionals, students, project managers, and even non-technical learners who want to understand how AI is used in real companies. The good thing about this certification is that it doesn't force you to become a hardcore programmer from day one. It helps you understand what an AI can do, where it's useful, and how companies are applying it. Then comes the AWS Certified Machine Learning Engineer Associate. So AWS's official exam guide says that this exam validates the ability to build, deploy, and maintain machine learning solutions and pipelines using AWS Cloud. Then for the advanced learners, AWS has the AWS Certified Generative AI Developer Professional. So AWS says that this certification showcases advanced technical expertise in building and deploying production-ready AI solutions using AWS services like Amazon Bedrock. So this is important because AI is no longer about theory. Companies want people who can build useful AI applications, connect them with data, keep them secure, and deploy them properly. AI tools on AWS are becoming more powerful because they allow teams to build chatbots, assistants, search systems, automation workflows, and business applications faster than before. But to use these tools well, learners need to know cloud basics, security basics, and project experience. And here's one important update. AWS Certified Machine Learning Specialty is being retired, and AWS says that the last day to take that exam is March 31st, 2026. So for most learners, the updated path should be AI Practitioner, Machine Learning Engineer Associate, Generative AI Developer Professional, depending on your experience level. If you're interested in data roles, then AWS can also be a very strong platform for you. Companies collect huge amounts of data from websites, apps, transactions, customer systems, and business tools. And this data needs to be stored, cleaned, processed, secured, and analyzed. This is where data engineers come in. For data learners, the roadmap can be Cloud Practitioner and Data Engineer Associate, and then practical projects using services like S3, Glue, Redshift, Lambda, Athena, and QuickSight. AWS officially lists AWS Certified Data Engineer Associate under Associate level certifications. So this path is good for people who want to work with data pipelines, analytics systems, and cloud-based data platforms. But again, the certificate alone is not enough. You should build a project where raw data is uploaded to S3, cleaned using AWS Glue, queried using Athena, and visualized using Dashboard tool. A good data engineer should understand not only how to store data, but also to make it useful. So along with AWS, learn SQL, basic Python, data formats like CSV and JSON, and the basics of data security. So if you're interested in cybersecurity, AWS also has a clear path. A strong beginner route can be Cloud Practitioner, then Solutions Architect Associate, and then Security Specialty. So the reason you should not jump directly into Security Specialty is simple. Cloud security makes more sense than you should understand it. How cloud systems are built, and you should only know users, roles, permissions, networks, databases, storage, logging, encryption, and monitoring. So once you understand these basics, security becomes much easier to learn. AWS lists AWS Certified Security Specialty under Specialty Certifications, which are focused on more deeper technical expertise in specific areas. So for this part, pay extra attention to IAM, encryption, security groups, network access, CloudTrail, guard duty, AWS config, and logging. In real companies, cloud security is not just about blocking hackers. It's also about making sure the right person has the right access, sensitive data is protected, and every important activity is tracked. Now the big question, which AWS certification should you be taking in 2026? Well, if you're completely new to cloud, start with AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. This gives you a clean foundation and helps you understand what AWS is without overwhelming you. If you're a student or a non-technical learner interested in AI, you can start with AWS Certified AI Practitioner because it explains AI and machine learning concepts in a more beginner-friendly way. AWS describes AI Practitioner as a foundation-level certification for AI, ML, and generative AI concepts and use cases. If you already have some technical background, start with Solutions Architect Associate. AWS recommends at least 1 year of hands-on experience designing cloud solutions before taking this exam, but it also mentions that candidates with 1 to 3 years of IT experience have used it as a starting point in their AWS journey. So if you're a developer, choose Developer Associate. If you're into operations, choose Cloud Ops. And if you're into machine learning, choose Machine Learning Engineer Associate. And if you're into data, choose Data Engineering Associate. So the simple rule is this: don't choose a certification because it's popular, choose it because it matches your role. So for most beginners, the safest order is Cloud Practitioner, Solutions Architect Associate, Role-Based Associate Certification, Professional or Specialty Certification. And let me follow this up with an example. If you want to become a cloud engineer, go from Cloud Practitioner to Solutions Architect Associate. Then to Cloud Ops Engineer Associate. If you want to become a developer, go from Cloud Practitioner to Developer Associate. If you want to become an AI professional, go from AI Practitioner to Machine Learning Engineer Associate. If you want to become a cloud architect, go from Solutions Architect Associate to Solutions Architect Professional. This order works because it builds your knowledge step by step. First, you understand the cloud, then you understand how AWS services work together, and then you specialize in one role. Then move to advanced certifications. So a common mistake is trying to take too many certifications quickly. That may look good on paper, but if you cannot explain how to build a basic cloud project, the certifications will not help you much in the interviews. So the best roadmap is not the fastest roadmap. The best roadmap is the one that gives you confidence, clarity, and practical ability. Okay, so let's now move on to how much time it may take. Now let's talk about the preparation time. Now this depends on your background, but here is a practical estimate. For Cloud Practitioner, a complete beginner may need around 2 to 4 weeks. If you already know basic IT concepts, you may finish faster. For Solutions Architect Associate, most learners should take around 6 to 10 weeks, especially if they're also doing hands-on practice. AWS recommends hands-on experience for this exam because it's not just about definitions, it tests you how to design secure, resilient, high-performing, and cost-optimized solutions. For role-based associate certifications like Developer Associate, Data Engineer Associate, Machine Learning Engineer Associate, or Cloud Ops Engineer Associate, you can expect around 6 to 12 weeks depending on your existing knowledge. So for professional level certifications, you should not rush. Keep around 3 to 5 months and attempt them only after you have real practice with AWS projects. AWS describes professional level certifications as advanced level certifications for complex technical tasks. So the goal here is not to collect certifications faster. The goal is to learn it in a way that you can actually explain it and apply it. So here are some of the projects that you should build along with the AWS certifications. Now, this is one of the most important parts of the roadmap. Certifications may help you prove your knowledge, but the projects prove that you can actually use that knowledge. So your first project can be static website hosting project. So in this project, you can use S3 to store website files to deliver the website faster, root S3, root 53 for domain management, IAM for access control. So this project is simple, beginner-friendly, and helps you understand storage, networking, permissions, and delivery. Your second project can be a basic web application deployment. You can use EC2 for the server, RDS for the database, elastic load balancing for traffic distribution, and auto-scaling to handle traffic changes. So this project helps you understand how real applications are hosted. Your third project can be a serverless application. You can use Lambda, API Gateway, DynamoDB, and S3. So this is useful for developers because many modern applications use serverless services to work. Your fourth project can be monitoring and logging project. You can deploy a smaller application and monitor it using CloudWatch. So this teaches you how to track performance, errors, and system health. Your fifth project can be AI-based project on AWS. You can explore tools like Amazon Bedrock or SageMaker depending on your level. AWS Generative AI Developer Professional Certification specifically highlights production-ready AI solutions using AWS services like Bedrock. So these projects will make your resume stronger because they show practical ability, not just exam preparation. So the first mistake, starting with the hardest certification, some beginners directly jump to Solutions Architect Professional or DevOps Engineer Professionals because they think advanced means better. But without basics, advanced certifications become confusing. AWS itself positions professional certifications for advanced technical skills and complex tasks. The second mistake is ignoring networking. In AWS, networking is everywhere. VPC, subnets, routes, tables, internet gateways, security groups, and load balancers are used in many real projects. If you skip networking, many AWS services will feel difficult. The third mistake is ignoring IAM. IAM is about users, permissions, roles, and access. So if you do not understand IAM, you will struggle with security and real-world AWS usage. The fourth mistake is studying only from videos without using the AWS console. Watching videos helps, but AWS becomes clear only when you create services, make mistakes, fix errors, and understand how things connect. The fifth mistake is following outdated roadmaps. For example, machine learning specialty is being retired with the last exam date on March 31st, 2026. So learners should check current AWS exam pages before planning their path. The sixth mistake is thinking one certificate guarantees a job. A certification may help you get noticed, but projects, communication, problem solving, and interview preparation are equally important. So here's how you can study for the AWS certifications. Start with the official AWS exam guide. AWS provides exam guides for each certification, and these guides show what topics are covered. The official AWS certification exam guides page lists and available certifications to the exam guide links. Next, learn the basics including simple explanations. Do not try to memorize every AWS service. First, understand the main service, categories, compute, storage, databases, networking, security, monitoring, and pricing. Then use hands-on practice. Create an AWS free tier account carefully. Set billing alerts and practice small projects. Be careful with paid services and always delete resources that are no longer needed. After that, revise your projects. After that, revise using practice questions. Practice questions are useful because AWS exams are not test scenarios. They may not simply ask what is S3. Instead, they may ask a company wants to store files cheaply and access them globally. So which service should be used? This is why scenario-based practice is important. Finally, explain your concepts in your own words. If you can explain EC2, S3, IAM, VPC, RDS, Lambda, and CloudWatch to a beginner, your understanding is getting stronger. So if you want a quick summary, here it is. For beginners, start with Cloud Practitioner. For non-technical learners interested in AI, start with AI Practitioner. For Cloud Architect roles, go for Solutions Architect Associate and then Solutions Architect Professional. For developer roles, go for Developer Associate and then later DevOps Engineering Professionals. For Cloud Operation roles, go for Cloud Ops Engineer Associate and then DevOps Engineer Professional. So for machine learning roles, go for AI Practitioner, then Machine Learning Engineer Associate, and later Generative AI Developer Professional if you have enough experience. And for data roles, go for Data Engineering Associate. And for security roles, go for Security Specialty after building a strong AWS foundation. So this way, your certification path becomes more connected to your career goal instead of becoming a random list of exams. AI deserves a special mention because 2026 is a very different year for cloud learners. Earlier, people learned cloud mainly because of hosting apps, managing servers, and storing data. Now, cloud is also becoming a foundation for AI applications. Gartner reported that AI spending is expected to reach $2.59 trillion in 2026, which shows how serious companies are with investing in this space. AWS also updated its certification path with AI-focused certifications like AI Practitioner and Generative AI Developer Professional. And the best part is learners don't have to become experts on day one. You can start by understanding what AI tools do, how companies use them, and how AWS helps teams build AI-powered applications. So over time, you can move into building chatbots, document search tools, recommendation systems, automation workflows, and smart business applications. And this is why AI tools on AWS are powerful. They're not just fancy features, they help developers, businesses, and teams build useful products faster. But the smart way to learn them is to first understand cloud basics, and then learn data and security, and then move into AI services. And here we are. So if you're starting from zero in 2026, follow this roadmap. So this particular roadmap covers the summary of everything that we have learned so far. So if you want to have a nice look at it, pause the screen to understand more. Before we move on, let me share something exciting with you guys. If this AWS certification roadmap made you realize that cloud skills are not just about passing core exams, but about actually building, deploying, securing, monitoring, and managing real applications, then you should definitely check out the AI-enabled DevOps Engineer Master's program in collaboration with IBM and Simplilearn. So this program is designed for learners who want to move into modern cloud and DevOps roles with practical confidence. You will learn DevOps fundamentals, version control, CI/CD with Jenkins, GitHub Actions, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform, Prometheus, Grafana, logging, monitoring, DevSecOps, cloud platforms, Azure AI services, AWS Developer Associate concepts, DevOps on AWS, serverless architecture, and AI-enabled operational workflows. What makes this program useful is that it doesn't stop at theory. You get live online learning, guided labs, official learning content from IBM and Microsoft, hands-on projects, and capstone projects where you build DevOps pipelines, deploy applications on Kubernetes, automate infrastructure, and work with real cloud and DevOps scenarios. So whether you're only a beginner, a developer, a cloud learner, IT professional, or someone planning to switch into DevOps, cloud engineering, DevSecOps, or automation-focused roles, this program gives you a structured way to learn the tools, practice the workflow, and build job-ready confidence. So it also includes Simplilearn's Job Assist support to help you present your skills better and move closer to real career opportunities. So if your goal is to go beyond just learning AWS certifications and actually build future-ready cloud, DevOps, and AI-enabled automation skills, this program may be a strong next step. The link is in the description box. Go check it out. And that brings us to the end of this tutorial on AWS Certification Roadmap 2026. By now, you should have a clear idea of where to start, which certification path fits your role, how much time to prepare, what projects to build, and what mistakes to avoid. Remember, the goal is not to collect certificates quickly, but to build real cloud skills that you can explain, apply, and use in practical projects. So subscribe to Simplilearn for more such insights and check out our related videos.